What's going on, guys? I'm your host Francis Beau, and welcome back to the spoilers review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, of course, this is a spoilers review, so if you've not seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I recommend not watching this video because I'm going to be spoiling all the crazy stuff that happened in the movie. And if you guys have not checked out my non-spoiler review, I recommend checking that out because that's where I give my initial reactions coming out of the theater and how I felt about the movie. Now I've had a whole day to think about the movie, and I will talk about all the cool spoilers and stuff that happened in the movie right now. So, this is your final warning. If you have not seen the movie, I'm about to spoil it right now. In 3, 2, 1. So here we go. Yes, Yondu does die in this movie. And I kind of called it in my predictions video in a podcast at school. Me and my good friend Gus were both speculating on who would die in this movie. Yondu was one of our predictions, and Yondu did die, and his death was surprisingly very emotional. When he dies, it's very emotional, and the way that they send off his character, and the way that his character kind of still lives on to the next Yondu type of character, is very very powerful and very emotional. I was really invested in that scene. I was really enjoying that scene, and it was just very, very nicely done. I liked how they send off Yondu's character, and the only downside about that scene is that you kind of see it coming, because early on in the movie, when Yondu meets with Sebastian Alone's character, they kind of like tease you at the beginning that he might die in the movie. So, yeah, we kind of saw it coming, but hey, you know what? I still think his death scene was very well done, and it was very emotionally packed towards Star-Lord's character and the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy, because you could tell that everybody was very sad to see Yondu go. And yeah, I really liked that scene a lot. And rest in peace, Yondu, because I really enjoy Yondu. Yondu's a really cool character. I loved him in the first one. I definitely loved him here in the second one. It's just very sad for him to go. So it's pretty sad, but Yondu, you will be missed, man. You were awesome. So that's the first thing I want to get out of the way. Next thing that I want to talk about is Kurt Russell's character Ego. Yes, he is the bad guy in this movie. This was also another prediction that I had. I knew for a fact that Ego was going to be the villain. There's no way that they were going to keep this whole father and son thing throughout the entire movie. No way. They were going to make him the villain. I knew that was going to be the case. Okay, they did this with like Transformers Dark of the Moon, where Sentinel Prime was kind of like a father figure to Optimus Prime. Then he becomes bad towards the middle of the movie. Same thing happens with Ego. He looks good for like the first act and second act, and then the third act he turns into a bad guy. So kind of saw it coming, but he was actually a pretty decent villain. In terms of Marvel villains, he was actually not a pretty bad villain. He's actually in my top 5 like favorite Marvel villains, because he actually he's kind of an imposing figure, and there's like this one powerful line that shows him that he is a bad guy, and that is when he talks about like Star-Lord's mom. He tells Star-Lord that it's very unfortunate that I had to put a tumor in her head, and when that scene happens, it's very powerful, and it shows him how evil he is, and that he's not all good and awesome that Star-Lord actually thought he was going to be. So it's very, very powerful for him to say that, especially towards his son. So and when you learn about why and who Ego really is, and how he's had affairs with like pretty much everybody in outer space, it's kind of disturbing and kind of emotional for Star-Lord, because Star-Lord has always thought that, he's always wanted a father figure. He always wanted somebody for him to look up to, and somebody for him to, to recognize. And you learn at the end of the movie that, Star-Lord realizes that he did have a father, and that was Yondu. Yondu was his father this whole time. Not, biologically, but, mentally, and, realistically, Yondu is the better father, because he was caring for him. He taught him how to use guns, he taught him how to do all this and that. Sure, he was kind of a a-hole at times, but Yondu was the better father figure than his actual father. So, with all that wrapped up, I thought that was very, very well done. I thought that was like a very nice like blending of all the scenes together of like showing off Yondu teaching Star-Lord when he was a kid to use a gun, and I just thought that was very powerful. Like for Star-Lord to finally realize who his actual father was, and you know, I thought that was really nice. So, there's that. The other scenes I want to talk about, that opening scene, man, I love the way this movie just starts off with Baby Groot just dancing during a fight between the Guardians and this octopus-looking character that you see in the trailers. I love that scene. The whole crowd loved that scene. Everybody enjoyed that scene. It was absolutely hysterical. I was laughing my butt off when I was watching that scene. And Baby Groot is just adorable in this movie. Just that opening scene, he gets like a good solid like 4 minutes or so of Baby Groot just dancing, and I love that. I love how this movie just starts. It was great. I love how that movie just started with the dancing and the laughter that there was in that scene was awesome. Love that scene. I also like the prison breakout scene with Rocket, Yondu, and Baby Groot. I liked that scene with Yondu's arrow just going around and shooting everybody, and Rocket, of course, with his gadgets and such. That was pretty cool. I liked that scene a lot. That was pretty entertaining for myself. But yeah, those are the primary scenes I liked. The characters that I didn't mention in my non-spoiler review that I didn't want to mention is Sylvester Stallone's character. He surprisingly was in the movie for actually a good amount of time. He had 3 scenes. He had one in the beginning, he had one at the end, and an after-credit scene, which we'll discuss in a second. But I was surprised. I didn't know Sylvester Stallone was going to be in the movie. We learned about it a few days before, or actually at the premiere for Guardians 2. So I didn't want to mention it in my non-spoiler review just because some people aren't aware that Sylvester Stallone was in the movie. So just keep it as a surprise for you guys. But, yeah, or if you read the internet, of course. But, yeah, Sylvester Stallone's character, he was good for what he was. He was kind of like a small cameo supporting role, but he did good for what he was. So I don't know why I got Judge Dredd vibes from him doing that role. I don't know why. Maybe that's just me. I felt Judge Dredd when he was performing his lines in front of Yondu and the other characters. Just felt very, very Judge Dredd-ish. But yeah, those are all my favorite scenes. I loved all those scenes from the movie. The last character that I want to discuss before we get into the after-credit scenes speculation part is Mantis. I didn't touch base on Mantis on my my non-spoiler review. I'll discuss it here. Mantis was a good character. She was surprisingly funny. The scenes involving her, she had a lot of scenes with Drax, and I really liked those scenes with Drax, which, by the way, Drax was hilarious. His scenes were absolutely hilarious. He was the funniest part of the entire movie, in my opinion. But the scenes involving Drax and Mantis, they both together were hilarious. Because Mantis's powers is that she can touch anybody and she can tell what their feelings are. And I like that. I really like that ability. She can also make people go to sleep. She has like multiple powers, and I like that about Mantis. And she did a pretty good job. Whoever the actress was, I think it's like Poor Kim something. I'm not sure. Sorry if I missaid your name. But she did a pretty good job as Mantis, and I like the scenes with her and Drax. So, really like those. And I guess she is now a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy team, because at the end, of course, when Ego dies and all that, blah, 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 Mantis is still with the group. So I assume that we're going to see her in Guardians 3 with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we might see some more character development and relationships with Drax and Mantis, because they're kind of hinting at a possible relationship with Mantis and Drax, and who knows. But I found that interesting, so I did like Mantis. She was a good character. Alright, now let's get into the after-credit scenes. Let's talk about all the cool little after-credit scenes that happened in the movie. First one I want to talk about is the one with Sylvester Stallone. I'll be honest, I didn't know what that was at first. I had to look it up online. I was one of those people who had to look it up online and figure out what that was. Sylvester Stallone's character at the end of the movie is on a ship, and he talks to this crew of people, and if you're a huge Marvel fanboy, you will know that is actually the original Guardians of the Galaxy from the comic books, and I didn't know it at first, and I had to look online, and I was like, oh, interesting. So, I don't know if this is a hint that they might show up in Volume 3 or in future films. I hope they do, because that'd be really cool. Sylvester Stallone leading a group of people like the Guardians of the Galaxy, like the modern Guardians of the Galaxy. That would be very, very interesting. I would like to see that with Sylvester Stallone. So if they do that, do it. Maybe in Guardians 3, I don't think Infinity War, but I'm pretty sure Guardians 3, you'll see Sylvester Stallone and his crew teaming up with Chris Pratt Star-Lord's group of people. So hopefully we'll see. But surprisingly, the one thing that I found very shocking when I looked up online after I saw the movie was that apparently one of those characters is voiced by Miley Cyrus. Yeah, I didn't know that. I heard rumors that Miley Cyrus was going to be in the movie, but I thought it was total BS. But she makes a small voice-over appearance in the after-credit scene, and yeah, I heard a girl's voice, but I didn't think it was Miley Cyrus until I walked out of the theater and looked online, and it was actually Miley Cyrus, so I was surprised. So, yeah, Miley Cyrus is in the Marvel Universe. Wow. So there's that after credit scene. The other ones, of course, there's two Stanley cameos. There's one that happens in the movie, and the one that happens at the end of the movie at the after credit scene. He is, let me look this up. I know that, Stanley is with somebody, a certain group of people, and let me look it up right now, because I know some people are going to hate me if I don't know their names. He is with the Watchers. The Watchers, man. Very, very interesting. I looked up who the Watchers are. The Watchers apparently are the ones who watch what happens around the Marvel Universe, and this has got people to theorize that all of Stanley's cameos, maybe he himself is an actual Watcher. Now that would be interesting if he is a Watcher. And seeing how he is in the movie, it would make total sense why he shows up in every Marvel movie if he is an actual Watcher. So, I'm pretty sure he is a Watcher. That'd make total sense if he is. So, yeah, that's very, very interesting. I just found that very cool that he's actually a Watcher. So, that was pretty cool. His two scenes that involved the actual Watchers, and it was a pretty cool scene, like him as an astronaut. So, if he is an actual Watcher, that'd be pretty cool. So, I did like that. That was really cool. The other after credit scenes they're kind of like those goofy scenes. One was involving one of Yondu's like servants or something, trying to use Yondu's arrows, like trying to do the whole Yondu effect, like trying to whistle and trying to use the arrows. He hits Drax by mistake, and they're alluding at the fact that this character is going to become like the new Yondu. So. Pretty interesting there. I hope that he does. That'd be pretty cool. And the last one is, of course, we get a confirmation of who's going to be the villain for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and possibly, maybe for Avengers Infinity War as well, is Adam Warlock. If you guys don't know who Adam Warlock is a character that is supposed to be like the perfect human being. He was like indestructible, he can fly, he can shoot lasers, he can do anything. And he apparently, according to my research, he apparently at some point possesses the Soul Stone. He soon possesses the Soul Stone, and that is very, very interesting. I'm looking at it right now. Yes, at some point he does retrieve one of the Infinity Stones, which is the Soul Stone. And when I read that, that makes me think, can we possibly see him in Avengers Infinity War? Highly possible. Highly possible can be seen this character make an appearance in Infinity War, and it gets me to question how is Infinity War going to work out without the Soul Stone? Because Adam Warlock is going to make his first full appearance in Guardians 3. Is he still going to have that Infinity Stone, or is he going to lose the Infinity Stone once we get to Infinity War? Is he going to make a small appearance in Infinity War? Who knows? But, yeah, Adam Warlock is coming. Adam Warlock will be making his first full appearance in Guardians 3. I'm pretty sure he'll make a cameo appearance or somewhere in the vein of the Marvel Cinematic Universe between Thor Ragnarok or Avengers Infinity War. In one of those two movies, he'll make an appearance. Maybe even Captain Marvel. Who knows? But, yeah, Adam Warlock is he's a character that also has good relations with Gamora, so we might see some a three-way going, Gamora like in Adam Warlock and Star-Lord like in Gamora and Gamora, like that whole thing going on with Guardians 3. But yeah, that is it for my spoilers discussion for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I still very much enjoyed the movie. I still give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Definitely check out Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when you get the chance to. And yeah, that's it for my review, my spoilers review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. If there's something that I missed that you want me to discuss about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, let me know in the comment section below. And that is it for my spoilers review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, check out Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when you guys get the chance to, as well as my non-spoiler review for the film. And that's it for my movie review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, as we end these videos, Beau out. See you next time. Peace.